This morning, millions of Americans are set to hit the roads today during the last-minute travel rush. Ahead, a quick look at how the nation's airports and roads are coping.
Plus, nearly 24 states suing the Department of Health and Human Services, what they're claiming the department is doing.
And the holiday season may impact how you get around town. Ahead, the changes in today's bus routes. Well, good Wednesday morning. Happy Christmas Eve, and thanks for waking up with us on News 3 Now this morning. I'm Michelle Renee Quinn.
And I'm Armand Rahman. Look at us all festively colored.
I know. We're filling in for Chris and Kyrie on this morning, off enjoying the holidays, and it's going to be a beautiful holiday, but it's not going to be a white one.
No, it is not, unfortunately, but, you know, we take what we can get. Ain't that right, Alex Harrington?
That's right. The late Grandma Harrington would say it is what it is. You can't change it, but let's do that travel forecast. Let's start off with this evening. We're going to have a little bit of shower activity. Madison down to Chicago, down to the Peoria area. Temperatures mild, though, in Madison. We'll get up to about 40 for high temperature today. As we zip forward here and head into Christmas itself, a gray day. You see all the clouds here. Temperatures during the daytime ranging from 50 in St. Louis to 40 in Chicago, up to just about freezing by the time we get to 10 o'clock Thursday night. Watch the showers, though, break out here as we go into Thursday night into Friday morning. A little bit of freezing rain possible for central and areas of northern Wisconsin. But that weather system will then carry off towards the east as we go into Friday, going on into Saturday. With the potential, if you have any travel over towards the Detroit area, we could be looking at some travel delays for Detroit and areas over the New England part of the United States and the Northeast U.S. as that weather system moves off to the east. But here in southern Wisconsin and the Midwest, for the most part, good travel conditions today, Christmas Day, going on into Friday.
All right, Alex, thank you. We begin with some developing news out of Fitchburg. Officers there investigating a homicide near the area of Pheasant Ridge Trail and Valley Road.
Fitchburg police say the incident happened around 8:45 last night. Investigators believe the victim and the suspected shooter knew each other prior to the incident. They did say if anybody was taken into custody, but believe there is no threat to the public at this time. The incident is still under investigation. And right now, millions of Americans are getting ready to hit the road in their final trek home for the holidays.
But major storms out west are already hindering air travel. Take a look at this. Storms and heavy rain continue to batter the west coast, while on the east coast, snow is pummeling them. With AAA estimating that a record-breaking 122 million people will be traveling during the holidays, with 110 million of them already traveling by car. If you still haven't made your plans, AAA is still offering some last-minute advice if you plan to fly.
You've got still some flexibility. Maybe book a Christmas Day flight. Those tend to be cheaper, and airports are just calmer on Christmas Day.
Meanwhile, the TSA also reminding passengers to be patient when going through security. And if you got any of those sparkly holiday sweaters, keep it in your suitcase because they can set off their body scanners. So how are the airports doing? Well, this morning, according to FlightAware's Misery Map, major airports on the East Coast like JFK, LaGuardia, and Miami are reporting some delays. But on the West Coast, things getting better over the last half hour as delays are starting to tick down just a little bit, but still holding steady.
Right now, here at home, Dane County's Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over campaign is underway, cracking down on drivers under the influence of drugs and alcohol over the holidays. Officials said that nearly half of all fatalities on Dane County roads involve impaired drivers. Through New Year's Day, they are adding extra patrols on roads, trails, and even lakes. Law enforcement encourages everyone to make plans before celebrating the holidays. That includes using designated drivers, ride shares, or programs like AAA Tow to Go, and never letting your friends drive drunk.
So if you are traveling this morning, here's a look at the major highways crisscrossing the state. Right now, WISC-TV is reporting some slick spots north of the Dells and just south of Janesville. Other than that, the roads are looking pretty good right now if you are getting ready to head out. Some more local news making headlines this morning. Judge Hannah Dugan's defense team is asking the judge in her federal case to hold a new trial as we're seeing and hearing the evidence presented at her trial last week.
A jury found her guilty of a felony count of obstructing federal officers trying to make an arrest, but not guilty of a similar yet lesser charge. Her attorneys say you can't have one without the other. 125 pieces of evidence shown over and over to jurors reveal the interactions between Dugan and others in the courtroom on the day prosecutors say she helped an undocumented man evade ICE agents. It also reveals emails between judges about how to handle ICE agents in the court, but highlights there is no official policy.
And a judge is sending the Slender Man attacker back to a state psychiatric hospital. This comes after Morgan Geisler cut off her ankle monitoring bracelet and escaped her group home in Madison last month. A Waukesha County Circuit judge granted a request from the State Department of Health Services to revoke her release privileges that were granted earlier this year. Last week, Geisler said she would not fight the revocation. And now some more national headlines. Tragedy at a nursing home in Philadelphia, where 2 people are dead and several others still missing after an explosion.
Dashcam video captures the explosion, ripping a hole in the building, blowing out windows and trapping residents when it partially collapsed. 40 minutes later, the building bursts into flames. Authorities believe the explosion originated in the building next door. A gas smell was reported, and the Pennsylvania Gas Company crew was on site just before the explosion.
Like I said, one woman, her legs were bleeding and damaged. I heard that they were smelling gas for like a few days.
The nursing home has 174 beds and came under new ownership earlier this year.
This morning, the man who was charged in the deadly Kentucky State University shooting earlier this month is now free. This after a Kentucky grand jury decided not to charge Jacob Bard. Police had accused him of shooting 19-year-old Delon Darrell Fox Jr. and injuring one other student in the incident. Bard later testified he feared for his son's safety and the shooting was in self-defense. The student who was injured in the shooting has since been released from the hospital.
This morning, a former top European Union official and 4 other people in groups that combat disinformation are now facing new visa sanctions. Secretary of State Marco Rubio accused them of leading efforts to suppress American viewpoints. The new sanctions will now prohibit the 5 people from traveling to the U.S. The Trump administration has previously condemned some European countries for what the U.S. believes are serious restrictions on freedom of expression.
And the Supreme Court now ruling that President Trump cannot deploy the National Guard to Chicago anymore. Federal law allows a president to federalize a National Guard when he can no longer execute the law with, quote, regular forces. This sparked a debate on whether the regular forces term means the regular military or federal agents like ICE.
New this morning, 19 states, including Wisconsin, are suing the Department of Health and Human Services over a gender-affirming care declaration. The declaration, issued late last week, calls certain treatments like puberty blockers or hormone therapies unsafe and ineffective. It also warns doctors could lose access to Medicare or Medicaid if they perform those types of care. The 19 states are calling for the courts to block the measure and claims the department is attempting to persuade providers to stop providing gender-affirming care and not giving the public time to comment on the new policy. The department has yet to comment on the lawsuit.
And tonight, you could win a gift even Santa cannot bring down that chimney. The estimated Powerball jackpot is up to $1.7 billion. That's the 4th largest in Powerball history and lottery history. The jackpot has been won once on Christmas Eve in 2011 and 4 times on Christmas Day. And some more local news now. If you're planning on riding Madison's Metro Transit system today or tomorrow, the routes are still running, but there will be some schedule changes.
Yes, today those buses will end routes early, stopping around 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. Now there are some that won't be changing. Routes 23, routes 28, 38, 55, 65, and 75 will run their full schedule, and routes 81 through 84 won't run at all. Now on Christmas Day, buses will run on their Sunday schedules. Routes running include A through J, L, O, P, R, and S. If you're a paratransit customer, you will need to schedule a casual ride to travel on the holidays. And for further information on everything to do with the Madison Metro, check the city website at cityofmadison.com.
A display airplane at the Stoughton VFW is almost fully repaired after being damaged in a hit and run last December. VFW Post 328 Commander Rob Drogsvald says they've been finding parts and pieces from all over the place with big help from the 115th Fighter Wing. One of the final touches came from Nebraska.
This guy from Nebraska found me reaching out on Facebook through a couple aviation Facebook pages, and he got a hold of my email account, and he's just like, hey man, I got a tank for you. I went down, we went down there in the worst storm, one of the worst storms in Iowa's history, not this last Saturday, but the weekend before that. And it was a horrible trip, but we came back with a tank, and, grateful for Jeff King, Lincoln, Nebraska.
Some finishing touches are still needed, including 2 bolts inside the craft and some fresh paint this spring.
Two German stadiums were packed last night, but the people inside were not watching a soccer match. Instead, they were spreading Christmas cheer. This is in Berlin, where more than 28,000 people came together to sing Christmas carols by candlelight. Now, this is a joyful tradition that dates back more than 20 years when the local soccer team was having a rather bad season. But a group of nearly 100 people didn't want that to dampen the holiday mood, so they came to the stadium the night before Christmas Eve to sing Christmas songs, and they came back the following year, and a few more people joined them, and it's now an annual event with lots more people a part of the festivities. How about that?
That is so cool. Can you imagine if we filled up like Lambeau Field, Camp Randall with just candlelight
and singing?
carolers?
I mean, that would be amazing. Where are we at, Wisconsin? Come on.
Yeah, we could even bring up the spirits of the Wisconsin football team after last season.
Oh, last season. Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Last game. Yikes.
Yeah, well, you know what? Let's change the subject now. It'd be a good night to do that right now with the lack of snow. Isn't that right, Alex?
Yeah, bring the Christmas cheer up a little bit. If you want the snow, you might want some extra cheer. Well, I'll cheer on here for you here. At least the temperatures are going to be in the near 40 today and near 40 on Christmas. Generally tracking precipitation in the form of liquid, meaning showers this afternoon going on into Christmas itself. Those showers, especially from the Wisconsin River Valley I-94 areas to the south. A little bit of patchy fog overnight tonight, and then tomorrow night, we're tracking showers with the potential for a little bit of freezing rain mixing in, especially for areas north near the Dells. It could make for a couple of slick spots or two as we go into Friday morning. Take note here of the few and far between showers, but look at the pink up towards Juneau, Adams, Marquette, and Green Lake counties a little bit earlier Friday morning. That could cause a slick spot or two. And we got even colder temperatures in the forecast. More on those temperatures in a little while.
All right, Alex, thank you. Still ahead, Badger basketball we're getting ready for the holiday season. How senior Nick Boyd is giving back to the community while also giving some Madison area kids an unforgettable experience.
And in your Morning Health Watch, discover how one simple conversation can transform your family's holiday experience from wanting more to giving back.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
Welcome back. In your Morning Health Watch, getting wrapped up in gift giving is not unusual this time of year, but there are ways to help kids keep focused on that bigger picture and learn a little gratitude during the holidays. Now, greed and envy can be challenging feelings for young people, but psychologists advise parents to empathize with those feelings and gently explain items your children may not fit with your family's budget or values. Then you can work on shifting the focus towards more gratitude.
Talk together as a family about where you're going to make donations if you are going to do that. Have your kids think about where they'd like to make donations, even if it can be very, very small. Do acts of service. Look out for other people. Think about others openly in front of your kids. In all of parenting, in all of raising kids, modeling the behavior we want to see is so much more powerful than lecturing kids about it.
She adds this time of year is not about the stuff or about the notion of perfection. She says it's really about relationships and being together.
And as you gather with the family around the holiday dinner table, new research highlights thinking about our relationship with food. Professor in health psychology Jane Ogden says up to the age of 12, children learn their eating habits from their parents, including what they eat. She says instead of calling some food good and some food bad, it's better to reframe healthy food as frequent and unhealthy food as occasional. So I have a feeling we're going to all be having some occasional food probably tonight and tomorrow for sure.
Oh yeah, I'm going to have some occasional cookies tonight.
Oh yeah.
6:16 now, we're going to send it over to meteorologist Alex Harrington. Are you going to have some occasional cookies tonight?
I'm going to have some occasional showers in the. How about that? I had to twist that there with the weather. Yeah, some occasional showers here as we're going to Christmas Eve evening, patchy fog overnight, and then some more showers, but a little bit of freezing rain we can't rule out north of Madison as we go into Christmas Day, Christmas Day night. So we'll do 40 for high today, light winds, cloudy, those afternoon showers, 37 on Christmas. Winds light, and then tracking those overnight showers, the occasional showers, as we were just saying before. Here are those occasional showers, Bosqueville, Lone Rock, Mineral Point, Madison, between 4 p.m. and let's say 8 p.m. Then they're out of here. Then what happens as we go into Christmas Day, quiet, but then as we go into Christmas Day night, some freezing rain north of Madison up towards the Dells could mix in with a few of those showers. Here's how that pans out. A couple scattered showers across the area, midnight to 2 o'clock on Friday morning, but a little bit of pink activity north of the Dells. Far south is Juneau and Beaver Dam. So keeping an eye on that. Any further north or south move of our temperatures being at freezing approximately is going to change that forecast where we could have a little bit of freezing rain. So I'll be here this afternoon, going into this evening, giving you another glimpse of that potential here. Lows tonight will dip down below freezing north of Madison, low to mid 30s south of Madison. Anything that's wet and untreated, a slick spot we can't rule out tonight, but not expecting major travel concerns. 34 Camp Douglas, 38 Prairie du Chien, off to the east 37 in Madison, and a lot of 37s, Monroe, Janesville, and Platteville. We got a quad here of 37s for high temperatures on Christmas. Once we get after Christmas, any morning rain with that little bit of that freezing rain potential north of Madison, north of the Dells, will get up to 40, 44 on Saturday, and then that high on Sunday likely going to be right around 35 at midnight with falling temperatures throughout the day. Temperatures dipping down into the 20s by the end of the day. We're struggled to get out of the teens on Monday, back to the 20s on Tuesday. There's a hint we could have a clipper-like system on Wednesday going into Wednesday night that could bring some snow chances to the upper Midwest, but it's still a ways out there, and weather models are kind of flip-flopping on the track of that weather system, but we'll keep an eye on that. Following that clipper-like system, colder weather again on Thursday going on into Friday. So as we start off 2026, which is January, of course, our temperatures are going to be back down to colder values what we would be expecting for this time of year, not the 40-degree weather that we're having here for the Christmas holiday.
Well, good morning, Madison, and Merry Christmas Eve. While the Badger basketball is finding their place on the court, one Badger is finding his place in the community of Madison this holiday season. Senior Nick Boyd hosted a holiday jacket drive for kids in Mentoring Positives and the Boys and Girls Club. Boyd covered the cost of all 30 kids to attend the game last night and gave them jackets, autographs, and cool hats after the game to spread some Christmas cheer.
Christmas is one of my favorite holidays, so I'm excited to do this and make an impact as small or big as I can in the Madison community. So I'm just grateful, I'm blessed, and it's a perfect opportunity with the Christmas spirit and the Christmas time to give back in a small way by handing out some coats and inviting the kids to the game.
How sweet is that? And have a great morning, Madison, and happy holidays.
Thanks, Kay. You too. Now, this weekend's game against the Packers could help determine if they will have a spot in the playoffs.
Senior Packers writer Jason Wilde explains the two routes that could help the Packers reach the finish line.
Good morning, everybody from Lambeau Field. The Packers' math for making the playoffs is simple. Either they need to win one of their last two games, or the Detroit Lions need to lose one of their last two games. But Matt LaFleur says he can't be worrying about playoff scenarios. He's got enough on his plate figuring out what his team needs to beat the Ravens on Saturday night.
I'll be honest with you, we're so focused on us. We got a lot of stuff to clean up, and we got a lot of stuff to try to get better at and improve at, and I think that's where the focus is going to lie right now.
We'll have more on the Packers' approach to the week and everything else you need to get ready for Packers-Ravens on our website, channel3000.com. And while you're there, make sure you sign up for the Packers newsletter, which delivers that coverage directly to your inbox every single day. In Green Bay at Lambeau Field, Jason Wilde, channel3000.com.
Thanks, Jason. Still ahead, we're getting ready for the holidays with a festive this or that.
Oh boy.
Testing you and Alex.
Yes, can't wait. And Sun Prairie superintendent set to move to another district coming up where he's heading back to. Welcome back. Take a look at Miss Girl in her nest, a photo of this dove sent in by Gwen. And yeah, Michelle Renee, there's a little bit of a special feature in there too.
Yes, she's got her Maybelline blue eyeshadow on, as Gwen said in her message. So thank you so much for always sending us pictures, and be sure to continue to do so. We like to see your guys' mornings.
Almost blending in there with the bark on that tree there, because there's no snow for contrast.
Yeah, that's true.
So hiding in there.
It is hiding. And talking about snow, even though we won't have any in our forecast, we do have a little question. about Christmas. So holiday this or that. Would you guys rather play Christmas games with your family, like at a holiday party, or watch Christmas movies, like Hallmark movies?
What is a Christmas game?
You know, like a white elephant or like a gift exchange.
Okay.
You know, Jacob and I demonstrated a game on Weekend Mornings not too long ago with wrapping a present with oven mitts on our hands, and that's one game. It's very difficult to do, by the way.
Yes.
So like holiday games or a movie?
Movies is a tradition in our family, so I'll go with that.
Okay.
Same. Yep. Christmas Story for sure.
Yeah.
See, and I'm the opposite. Games are the tradition in my family. I've actually never seen a Christmas Hallmark movie.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Now, really fast, we have to do this.
Yes.
Mariah Carey or Michael Bublé?
Michael Bublé.
Michael Bublé? Bublé. I have to say Bublé too, but Mariah Carey's Joy to the World, special place in my heart. More News 3 Now this morning. Next, we're back after this. This morning, the Madison area is remembering a life cut short after a weekend shooting. What we know about the victim.
And a new mandate bans certain drones, what it means for local farmers.
Plus, we're tracking Santa, where he is this morning.
Well, good morning and happy Christmas Eve to you all on this weekend mornings. Or sorry, it's not the weekend just yet. Oh, wow. I am jumping ahead way too far.
You know, it
here.
feels like the weekend. People might be off. They're at home. But nope, it's Wednesday, you guys. It's Christmas Eve.
Yes, it is. I'm Armand Rahman filling in for Chris Stanford.
And I'm Michelle Renee Quinn filling in for Kyrion Lee. They are both off this morning, taking some time for the holidays as they rightfully should. So let's check in now with meteorologist Alex Harrington in for Savannah Brito.
And speaking of Savannah, thank you, Savannah, for the tie. I'm wearing this winter tie. Thank you so much. And happy Christmas Eve from me to you and from the First One Weather team. And overall, the forecast, well, yeah, we got some showers in there, but we don't have any major travel conditions that we have to talk about, at least not this morning. Some drizzle showers throughout the afternoon and evening, patchy fog tonight, but there is a little bit of freezing rain in our forecast, mainly for areas north of Madison as we go into Christmas Day night. We'll do 40 today, cloudy. We'll do 37 cloudy on Christmas. Now, I know some of you want that snow in the forecast. I don't have it, unfortunately. But again, the temperatures are going to be on the mild side. Showers in southwest Wisconsin reaching Madison right around 5 o'clock. Showers to make those roads wet between 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. and then that's out of here. But then we trade in the potential for some freezing rain north of Madison. A couple of slick spots not out of the question for areas near and north of the Dells. This would be Christmas Day night, so Thursday night in southern Wisconsin. Not seeing overly widespread amounts of precipitation, so not heavy rain or not heavy freezing rain, but just a little bit of pink. Juneau, Adams, Marquette, Green Lake counties, just cold enough that we could have a little bit of freezing rain to start off that Friday morning commute. So a couple slick spots not out of the question. And then those temperatures nosedive by the weekend. When I come back in a little while, I'm going to let you know how cold the wind chills are going to be coming up soon. Arctic air is coming on back.
All right, thank you, Alex. We'll be checking in shortly. Developing this morning, Fitchburg police are investigating a homicide near the Beltline.
Police say they responded to the area of Pheasant Ridge Trail and Deer Valley Road for a report of a gunshot victim last night around 8:45. There they found a victim who died from their injuries. Police say there is no threat to the public. They say those involved knew each other, but did not specify on whether a suspect is currently in custody. Police are asking for more information. They ask you to contact the Fitchburg Police Department at 608-255-2345 or Madison Area Crime Stoppers. And this morning, we're continuing our coverage of a deadly weekend shooting. It happened on Portage Road in Madison's north side, killing one person and injuring another.
Local Gambian Americans and others in Madison are mourning the loss of Abubakar Darboe, better known as Booba. At only 22 years old, he left behind a promising future. Darboe's dreams and aspirations cut short after being shot Saturday night. He was visiting during a break from his classes at Vanderbilt in Tennessee. He was alongside two brothers in Madison. One of them was shot as well. Before Saturday, Darboe was known throughout Madison for playing soccer and excelling in academics.
Immigrating is a challenge. So to come here, be able to do school, not only do school, but be successful in school. Not only do school, but also do extracurricular activities. Like you mentioned, he was a good athlete, played soccer. Many of the people knows him that way. Not only do those things, but also give back to the community. He volunteered, he brought many young people together.
Booba was set to graduate in May. Right now, there are 2 persons of interest in custody connected to this case, but charges have not yet been filed. Darbo's family is honoring him through a charity that will support a mosque and orphanage in Gambia.
And the Sun Prairie School Superintendent is planning to leave at the end of the school year. Dr. Brad Sarin is headed back to Chippewa Falls, where he worked as a district superintendent for 2 years before taking on this role in Sun Prairie back in 2015. Sarin's departure coincides with an investigation into how the district handled child sex crime allegations against former Dean of Students Robert Gilkey Messigeyer. News 3 Now has contacted Sarin about what his leaving means for that investigation, but we have not yet heard back.
Officials are identifying the man killed in a pedestrian crash yesterday morning as 88-year-old James Voss, the uncle of Assembly Speaker Robin Voss. The vehicle driving south hit Voss while he was trying to cross North Main Street near the Burlington Historical Society. The driver of that vehicle is 41-year-old woman from Burlington who remained on scene following the crash. She was not injured and does not face criminal charges. Police say multiple factors like cause, speed, and visibility are under investigation.
A new rule by the FCC is set to ban the next generation of Chinese-made drones, and the Soybean Association is speaking out against this. The FCC says the drones pose a national security risk. The Soybean Association says drones play a crucial role in helping farmers with production costs, monitoring crop health, and working more efficiently. Turning now to a new update on the newly released Jeffrey Epstein files. Now the DOJ is facing heavy criticism over how it's releasing those documents.
Yesterday's batch listed President Trump's name multiple times and even said he flew on Epstein's plane more than previously known. The Justice Department defended Trump, saying the documents contain, quote, sensationalist claims that are, quote, unfounded and false. But thousands of more files still have not been released, and lawmakers are now threatening legal action. The Justice Department maintains that it needs time to review the materials and make redactions to protect survivors.
The man accused of last month's shooting of 2 National Guard members in Washington, D.C. now faces 5 new charges. Rahmanullah Lakanwal is facing new assault charges, and the murder charge against him has now been upgraded to first-degree murder. He's accused of shooting and killing West Virginia Guard member Sarah Beckstrom and injuring Andrew Wolf. Wolf is still in the hospital and only recently able to be transferred from ICU to an inpatient rehab program. Prosecutors also claim that Lakanwal attempted to buy several firearms, including an AR-15 and another rifle similar to an AK-47, for what he claimed were protection purposes.
This morning, former Nebraska Senator Ben Sassa says he has been diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Sassa represented Nebraska from 2015 to 2023. He was one of 7 Republicans who voted to impeach President Trump after January 6th. He then later went to serve as the president of the University of Florida before later resigning to take care of his family.
A California woman is charged with murder after the remains of her missing 9-year-old daughter were found in Utah. Police arrested Ashley Buzzard after bullet cartridges found near her daughter's body were linked to a used cartridge found in her home. Authorities found Melody Buzzard's body on December 6th in rural Utah. School administrators reported the child's prolonged absence on October 14th, but Buzzard says she did not know where her child was. Police say Buzzard left California with her daughter on October 7th, driving a rental car. Police say they changed their appearance.
In more local news, a quick reminder for those who live in Middleton. There will be no trash or recycling pickup tomorrow. Thursday and Friday routes are delayed 1 day. Monday and Wednesday routes are not affected. Pickup times do vary, so have your carts out by your designated pickup time or the night before.
And today at the Alliant Energy Center, the Red Cross will hold its 40th annual holiday blood drive, the largest one-day drive in the region. Anyone can donate, but the Red Cross says they are especially in need of type O blood. You can sign up ahead of time for the appointment, but walk-ins are also welcome. You can sign up online or call the Red Cross. The drive runs from 7 this morning to 1 p.m.
For 80 years now, the village of Rudolph has become a unique stop for mailing holiday cards. Thanks to its special postmark, this time of year, it brings in all sorts of crowds, including Santa. Their active postmaker and Santa Claus says people come to the post office from out of town and send letters just for their special stamp.
It helps us to show that people still use the Postal Service and that we are their top choice to get their letters out, especially with kids coming in, put a smile on their faces.
The holiday stamp changes every year, making it very appealing for collectors and continuing to bring in business. The Rudolph Post Office has offered their holiday decorative stamps for 80 years.
And take a look at this. Some families in Milwaukee going through a hard time at the hospital got a special visit. At Ascension St. Joseph's in Milwaukee, Santa paid a visit to the hospital's NICU. Santa has been visiting St. Joe's for 23 years. He was inspired to make the visit after his own son spent a Christmas there in 1998. And as he gears up for the biggest night of the year, the nation's armed forces also bracing for a busy Christmas Eve tracking the big guy.
Absolutely. Now we're going to take a live look at the NORAD Santa tracker. NORAD will be using ground radar and the heat coming off of Rudolph's red nose to actively watch St. Nick pass over the U.S. The crew will then quickly declassify that information for any child who calls the NORAD tracker hotline. So what started this? A newspaper misprinted Santa's phone number as the one belonging to an Air Force Operations Center.
The individual that answered that phone didn't want to disappoint the child on the other end and just went with it. And then it was turned into an annual reoccurring Track Santa operation ever since.
70 years later, that tradition lives on as dozens of volunteers answering the phones and updating the Santa Tracker website that's visited 32 million times last year.
Wow. And take a look at this. Santa Claus was seen starting his long journey to deliver gifts from his official home in the Arctic Circle. The video made by Visit Rovaniemi, the town's tourism organization, shows Santa setting off from Lapland on his sleigh on his long journey. Video also shows Santa's elves preparing the Christmas gifts and dressing Santa in his famous red and white cloak.
Wow, how magical. It really is the season.
Yes, it is, even if it doesn't look like it outside. Isn't that right, Alex?
That's correct. It doesn't matter even though our snow is dwindling here in southern Wisconsin. That's okay. Our temperatures are going to be mild. Santa knows how to deal with this because Santa can travel from the Arctic Circle to the tropics. Not tropical weather here, not Arctic weather in our forecast, but we'll do 40 for a high temperature today, 37 for a high temperature on Christmas Day with some shower chances. Showers moving in during the evening hours, and then they're out of here. A little bit of patchy fog on the tail end of those showers as we go into Christmas Day night. I'll step out of the way there so you can read that. Scattered showers, a little bit of freezing rain may mix in for areas north up towards the Dells. We're keeping a close eye on that, and I'll be back here tonight for our 5 o'clock and our 6 o'clock newscast with the latest on that potential for freezing rain. And we got the cold stuff coming back by the time we get out into next year, heading into 2026. Our temperatures are going to be much, much, much colder. And look at the wind chills as we head into Monday morning between -10 and -15. Here comes winter back to southern Wisconsin.
All right, thanks, Alex. And coming up after the break, we'll tell you what days and times experts recommend for travel this holiday season.
And new data shows more people are shopping this holiday season. We'll tell you where they're choosing to buy their gifts.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
Welcome back. It may surprise you, but the busiest time to travel this holiday season is the period after Christmas and before New Year's. Now, experts say that the Sunday after Christmas is expected to be the busiest day at airports. Transportation software company InRix says if you're driving, the day right after Christmas will be busy. And in general, avoid getting on the road between 1 and 7 p.m. That's when traffic peaks.
And already more than 11.1 million people have passed through airport security, and for those getting ready to go, location is key. Right now there's rain in the west and snow in the east, and it's causing delays at airports from Philadelphia to Boston. And at the destinations themselves, some people are set to see more of a wet Christmas than a white one. In California, nearly half of the state's 19 million residents are now under moderate risk or high risk of flash flooding today.
Timing couldn't have been any worse for this particular storm.
They're expecting the worst of the rain on Christmas Eve into Christmas Day.
All plans canceled, but it is what it is. Yeah, it's very bad. It's pretty stressful.
And people were lining up hours before dawn at LAX yesterday, heading hopefully to somewhere with better weather. AAA expects more than 122 million Americans will travel for the holidays, with nearly 110 million by car. Thankfully, we do not have any of those problems here. Is that right, Alex?
That is correct. We do not have those problems here. We are tracking a little bit of drizzle, a little bit of shower activity, patchy fog tonight, and maybe a little freezing rain as we go into Christmas Day night. Let's track that here using Future Track in just a moment here. 40 for high today, 37 on Christmas Day. Cloudy conditions, showers in the forecast. Not snow this time around, but as we go into Christmas Day night, freezing rain is possible north up towards the Dells, where some slick spots are certainly not out of the question. Now, again, that weather system that's off to the west is impacting areas like California that we just talked about before. We have our few showers here with temperatures in the 30s right around 7 o'clock. Chicago 42, maybe a shower. 61 in St. Louis down to the south here. Here comes that weather system, or a piece of that weather system out west, moving into the areas we go into late Christmas Day night. So after midnight, around midnight Friday, showers breaking out, maybe a little bit of freezing rain. Areas north of the Dells up towards northern Wisconsin, extending into parts of lower Michigan. That could impact some travel for areas near the Detroit area. The rain shower activity, not expecting it to cause travel concerns in Chicago, but that weather system moves on out as we go into the daytime on Friday, and then we're left with cloudy conditions, highs getting up to right around 40. So while our travel is good here in Wisconsin and much of the Midwest, temperatures staying mild. We'll do 44 on Saturday, then the rug gets pulled out from underneath us. Look at these cold temperatures going all the way out into the very beginning of 2026. Temperatures will be falling on Sunday, so I want to emphasize that high on Sunday is going to be when everyone's sleeping in the morning, because throughout the day on Sunday, temperatures are going to be falling. We'll be in the teens by the end of the day. Highs only in the teens on Monday, and then back into the 20s on Tuesday. Some hints that we could have a clipper system on Wednesday, bringing us some light snow, rounding out Christmas Eve rather. New Year's Eve, got to get through Christmas Eve first. Then New Year's Day could have some waking up to some snow flurries. We'll be keeping an eye on that weather system. But we transition, the takeaway here, from mild temperatures right back into winter. Arctic air is going to move back in, and that cold weather looks like it's going to stick around as we go further into January.
Ugh, thank you, Alex. In more consumer news, holiday spending jumped 4.2% this year. Visa Consulting and Analytics says the most popular category was electronics, with a 5.8 bump. Clothing and fashion were close behind with a 5.3% increase. And the study also shows that a majority of shoppers prefer to buy in-store. That accounts for 73% of holiday sales, with 27% of purchases done online.
And this morning, the Consumer Confidence Report now at its lowest level since President Trump announced his Liberation Day tariffs in April. The Conference Board's newest survey says consumer confidence fell 3.8 points last month to 89.1. It also showed that consumers' thoughts on their financial situations dropped into the negatives for the first time in 4 years. Despite this, the Trump administration says the tariffs are helping. Many consumers also expressed concerns over the labor market after the unemployment rate recently hit a 4-year high.
If you're still paying for your student loans, listen up. The Trump administration says the government will begin garnishing wages of those who have not paid in at least 270 days. That's less than a year. Default notices are expected to be sent out in January and will originally be sent to 1,000 borrowers. However, that number is expected to climb after the Education Department reported that 5 million borrowers were in default back in April.
And the Commerce Department says the U.S. economy grew 4.3% in the third quarter compared to last year. That's the strongest gross domestic product, or GDP, growth in 2 years, and also a healthy bump from the 3.8% growth in the second quarter. While that's good news, economists do warn that growth could slow in the fourth quarter, impacted by the recent government shutdown. And coming up in the morning sprint, a gift not even Santa could bring down the chimney tonight.
And before we head to break, we are giving a happy third birthday to Ellawyn. Oh, happy birthday from everybody here on our News 3 Now This Morning team. And keep it here. You're watching News 3 Now This Morning. It's 6:53, time for the morning sprint.
Developing this morning, Fitchburg police are investigating a homicide of Pheasant Ridge Trail and Deer Valley near Rimrock Road in the Beltline. Police responded for a possible gunshot victim around 8:45 last night. They found a person who died from their injuries, but say there is no threat to the public. Police say those involved knew each other, but did not say whether they have a suspect in custody.
The local Gambian community and others who knew Abubakar Darbo, or Booba, are mourning his loss after he was shot and killed over the weekend on Portage Road in Madison's north side. The 22-year-old was a soccer star at East High School and was about to finish school in May at Vanderbilt. Right now, there are 2 persons of interest in custody connected to this case, but charges have yet to be filed.
AAA is estimating a record-breaking holiday travel day with $122 million expected to hit the roads, rails, or skies for the final trek home before the holidays. Heavy rain and wind in California and snow in the East Coast has affected some plans. And if you're planning on wearing a sparkly Christmas sweater to the airport, TSA recommends leave it at home or in your suitcase because the scanners, they don't like sparkles.
This morning, DOJ is confirming that President Trump's name appears in the newly released files on convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. However, they assert that the, quote, sensationalist claims, end quote, about Trump are unfounded and false. While several documents mention President Trump, there are no accusations of wrongdoing. Notably, a 2020 email reveals Trump took at least 8 flights on Epstein's plane between 1993 and 1996, more than previously known.
And this is a gift even Santa can't bring tonight. The estimated Powerball jackpot, which is up to $1.7 billion. That's the 4th largest in Powerball and lottery history. The Powerball jackpot's only been won once on Christmas Eve in 2011 and 4 times on Christmas Day.
Morgan Geyser, known for the 2014 Slender Man stabbing, will return to the state psychiatric hospital. This comes after Morgan Geyser cut off her ankle monitoring bracelet and escaped her group home in Madison. Last week, Geyser said she would not fight the revocation.
Today at the Alliant Energy Center, the Red Cross will hold its 40th annual holiday blood drive at the Alliant from 7 to 1. Anyone can donate, but the Red Cross says they're especially in need of Type O. You can sign up ahead of time for the appointment. Walk-ins are also welcome. You can sign up online or call the Red Cross.
And high temperatures today getting up to 40, 37 on Christmas. Some afternoon showers today. More showers as we head into Christmas night. Lows tonight after the showers move on out will be in the low to mid 30s. That's pretty mild for this time of year. Again, mid to upper 30s on Christmas Day, with chances for showers with a little bit of freezing rain possible north of the Dells. Join me at 5 and 6 tonight. I'll have the very latest on that chance.
Thanks for watching. Happy New Year's Eve. Coming up next is CBS Mornings.